everybody, it's Tim of Broken Dice bringing you a update on my little solo wargaming campaign. We're going to be doing a skirmish type game. A little background here, I'm doing a video on this, so I'll refer you to that to give you a kind of an explanation of the rules and stuff. But basically everything's going to be in small units. It's going to be, everybody's going to be in open order. It's going to be quite a small affair, comparatively speaking, but there's going to be a lot of units on the table. So I'm going to be using basically the Hail Caesar rules. Everybody's going to be in open order, and all the units count as being small. So let's roll, and let's see who gets the initiative here between me and those nasty Romans, and we'll see what we can get done. So let's move the camera down to our little tray. The gray dice will represent the role of the Iberians. The red, obviously, the Romans. The Romans get the first turn. So let's we'll roll for some orders. We'll move some troops, and I'll let you know what happens. Well, that didn't turn out well for me at all. The Roman general at the top ordered his cavalry forward, and as you can see, they're splitting, going around the side of the building. The other Roman commander at the top with the cape, he failed his orders, and nothing happened there. And then I rolled for the guy's unit that was at that side of the building where the carts are. I rolled a blunder, and then I rolled a 6, which is an uncontrolled advance. They went 18 inches, and as you can see down here, they've made it into contact with the Iberians. Boy, that went from bad to worse for me in a big hurry. My goal is to destroy those carts. That way I can slow the Roman supply and advance into the rest of Iberia, but right now, not looking good. So now that we've done the orders, shooting is non-plus, so let's get right into some combat rolling. Well, that was interesting first Roman turn. They charged in down here against the infantry. The one with the character model, they drove a unit of Scutari off the table, and so therefore, and they were shaken, so they have no opportunity to come back on. I thought if they were disordered, then I could give them a turn to get rid of the disorder, and then maybe in another turn pass an order to come back on the table. But since they were shaken, and there's no way to make them unshaken right now, because I don't want my characters going off the table to get them. So youch. And then because that character unit was victorious, they get their movement of victorious troops. Hold on just a second. Got those solicitors and just never stop calling. Okay, so what I thought was that he would take his his victorious move and move back with the other small little unit of Romans who became disordered. Excuse me, with their combat. Now we're going to move on to the Iberian part of turn 1 and see what happens here. We got to get some recovery. We're already down a unit. The Romans are always formidable, and plus we haven't even got to the carts yet, so it could be a tough road for me today. All right, everybody stay tuned. I'm moving into the Iberian part of turn 1. All right, back for some orders, and the Iberians didn't do too badly. The general with his division moved just one move, but that allowed the one unit right there to get back into combat. We moved up my light cavalry to fire into that unit with their javelins. Other units in the other division moved 3 turns, so the cavalry over there, the light cavalry, will charge that light infantry. Hopefully that'll be a good fight for me. The rest of it will be down to some shooting, so let's get into the shooting phase. We'll roll the dice for that, and we'll talk about the results. All right, in the shooting phase, we got a couple of points of damage on that small unit of Romans with the commander. No 6s were rolled. Oh, actually not two. I got one. One was from the combat and one was from this shooting phase. And then the cart up at the top with the slingers there, they took 2 points of damage from shooting. Again, no sixes were rolled. And so now we need to get into the combat. See what happens here. Okay, in the combat, both units have become shaken here. So they'll both have to roll on the break test. They both received enough damage to become shaken, so it's really not going to make any difference. It was like a couple here, a couple there, and you know that's going to be pretty bad for the Iberians. We have got to get to these carts because this is the only way I'm going to slow these Romans down. If I can just make them hungry, have disease be my friend. And speaking of the carts, move the camera up just a bit. Try not to. Anybody suffer from motion sickness? There we go. My light cavalry were able to do. Whoops. Stepped on the base. Sorry. We're able to do 1 point of damage. So now let's go to some break test for everyone. I'm going to roll first for the 2 shaken units. I'm going to roll 2 red dice for the Romans, 2 gray dice for the Iberians. And let's see what happens. Okay. You can see I roll a 6 for the Iberians and an 8 for the Romans. And so let's see what happens here. So with the results, the Iberians have become disordered and they give ground to all with supports if they had any. So we'll move them back to their starting position at the edge of the table. And the Romans retreat in good order. But since they have to wait till the end to try to rally from that disorder. Well, actually, they became disordered on the start of their turn, so they are no longer disordered. They're just shaken. So I need to take that off. Yeah. And so they back up 6. We'll move them backwards, and then we'll roll for the light cavalry and the light infantry up by the carts. Okay, now in this combat, the Roman light infantry lost by 1, so we need to roll the dice to see what happens. I rolled a 5, which becomes a 4. Oh, I can't remember that. Break if shaken, otherwise give ground. All disordered. Okay. So what we will do is, since they have to give ground and become disordered, let's see how far they can go. We'll put them back up against the wall. All right, oops. And we'll just move this a little bit. And the light cavalry will move forward to maintain contact. There we go. Because we need to take one of those carts. So let's we'll just leave that point of damage right there on the cart. We'll put the disordered thing on there. And that brings us to the end of turn 1. Well, that was interesting. Let's see what those pesky Romans have in store for us in turn 2. All right, let's take a look here. So the Roman commander is going to order his cavalry that's behind the building here between the 2 trees on the right to attack the light cavalry that's threatening the flank of that small unit with his with the legate there leading them. So we need to roll orders for the army general. I rolled an 8, so they make 1 move. And so the other commander that's up there in the cape with the infantry. He's going to order them forward to chase off that light infantry. And we'll see how he does. And again, I rolled an 8. And so they'll make their move. And down here, what to do with this guy? He's kind of out there all on his own. He's going to do what? Should he charge into the light cavalry? Okay, he's got 3 options. He can order a charge, he can retreat, or he can... Well, he's got 3 options to charge. The units that's shaken down here at the bottom of the table, he could do. He could do the one that's off to the left here, could do a charge against them. Again, everybody's in open order, so you got that 360-degree shit going on. So, or he could charge the cavalry. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to roll a die 3. Actually, a die 4, actually. Do I have a die 4? I think I do, somewhere. Well, anyway, I'll tell you what. I'm going to roll a die 3, and whichever one, so we're going to go, that'll be 1, that'll be 2, and the cavalry will be 3. And if I fail his, I'm going to roll for an order, then I'm going to roll the die 3, and if I fail the order, then I'm just going to retreat with the models. So let's do that. Okay, he passed his orders by 1. So now let's roll a die 3 and see which one he charges. He charges the light cavalry to run them off. So maybe that's what he wanted to do. So he's going to charge them. They are going to try to pass an order to evade. And they did by 1. So they make 1 move. The infantry make 1 move. And that will... Okay. Oh, goodness. Yeah. What are we going to do here? Yeah. Okay. Really, there's not going to be much combat going on. There's going to be a lot of shooting, but not much combat. So let's get everybody moved, and then we'll come back. All right. On the moving part of things, you can see here the cavalry have evaded. The Roman cavalry have moved up. They're 1 move. Now they're on the coming around the building. The infantry that charged the cavalry, they made their 1 move. Obviously, the guards on the carts are staying in their position, and the cavalry and Roman infantry are moving through the cultivated field where the crops are. And so no real fighting going on. So the only thing that the Romans will be able to do this turn will be to fire with their slingers against some of that Catrate infantry. So let's take care of that for the Romans, and then we'll get into Iberian turn 2. Well, again, not good for the Iberians. Double 6s. Wow. Wow. So that'll be 2 points of damage to the Iberians. Oh, I better use a gray dice. All right. So that's 2 points of damage plus double 6s. So we need to take a break for the Iberians from shooting. I rolled a 7. And a 7 is hold your ground without penalty. They're fairly lucky, but they're now down 2 points of damage and halfway to being shaken. So that's not good at all. Alrighty, so let's go into the Iberian part of turn 2. Well, as I look through it, most of the movement for the Iberians were basically all initiative moves. So the only real order that needs to be passed is for the commander here on the left, the cavalry commander, to move his medium cavalry to the right to help to ward off that Roman cavalry, because that might not be good if the Roman cavalry get in here too quickly. we're going to be hard pressed to do some real damage to those carts. It looks like the slingers are going to be run off pretty easily, but I'm not sure about the rest. I mean, the Romans are up there in force. I need to make something happen really, really quickly. So let's roll to see if the Iberian general gets his cavalry to the right. He orders them to move over and moves toward the Roman cavalry. Rolled an 8, so he only makes one move. And, oh yeah, I need to make sure I move my light cavalry up on their initiative too. I forgot to do that. So I'm going to move those and move my commander, and that will lead us into some Iberian shooting and then combat. Alright, in the Iberian shooting, most of the cool stuff happened over here. The slingers, as they were charged, they were able to, because they have long-range attacks, they can do closing shots, and they did another point of damage on one of the Scutari units charging them, and the Iberian javelin men, skirmishers, rolled double sixes to force the Roman legionnaires to take a break. They took a break test, and they gave ground disordered. That is as much as you can hope for from a bunch of javelin guys. So now, let's get into the combat. So we've got the slingers that are probably going to be run off pretty quick. We've got the light infantry for the Romans, and then we have the shaken Roman unit that has been charged by two smaller units. So everybody in open order, everybody's going to go get some. So let's roll some dice and see what happens. Okay, let's see what's going on so far. So what's happened is the Scutari charging into the slingers obviously did enough damage to make them take a break test. Although I did roll an 11 for them for their break, but because they took 4 damage, that makes it a 7. And for skirmishers, that causes them to break. So that gives us the ability to destroy a cart. And the Roman infantry that's being attacked by the 2 units to the right in the screen, they lost the combat by 2 and now have to give ground and are disordered. I still need the roll for my light cavalry, so let me go ahead and roll for those guys and we'll see what happens there. Okay, this brings us to the end of the Iberian part of turn 2. We've taken possession of 2 of the carts, the supply carts, so you count that as either being destroyed or you get the benefits. It depends on how you want to play the game out. I look at it as they're just destroying what they can before the Romans can return in strength to. So we got 2 out of 3. Just that third one left with that light infantry there. Yeah, I've got the Roman cavalry have yet to be engaged. My cavalry is yet to be engaged. I still have overwhelming numbers. So hopefully we will be able to chase off these Romans and destroy all these supplies so they can take some penalties in the next big battle that we're going to fight. So yeah, this may be a win for me. I don't know. But we need to do the top of turn 3, and we'll see tactically what the Romans want to do. I think they're in pretty dire straits, and I think they need to come up with a Hail Mary here. I don't know though, but light cavalry against Roman legionnaires is never a good fight, especially when I'm the light cavalry. I think the Romans are going to probably charge everything that they can within reach, and we'll see what happens. So let's roll some orders dice for the Romans and see what happens. All right, let's take a look around at what happened on the Romans' orders phase. On the left here, the cavalry were able to charge the skirmishers. The skirmishers failed their evade order, so this may not go well. Although there's 2 small units there, we'll see how this turns out. The Roman infantry that were on the other side of that cart charged the light cavalry. And there you can see that combat going on. This will be important. If they can reestablish control over that cart, that won't be good. And so if we hold on to one, we have to hold on for a whole turn until my next orders phase. So hopefully we can hold on that long and not flee from these guys. But it's light cavalry against Roman legionnaires. I don't think it's going to go well for me. Up here we still have this combat going on, and then we see that the Roman cavalry have charged into a Scutari unit, and they're going to fight it out. And the Roman commander is going to try to do his best to salvage the situation here. All right, let's roll some combat dice and see what happens for these pesky Romans. Okay, with all the dice being rolled into combat, looks like there's some break tests to be taken. As you can see here with the cavalry and the 2 small units of skirmishers that didn't flee, it was a drawn combat. Who would have thought that? Oh well. And then here where my light cavalry is in the middle here fighting the Roman infantry. The Romans really did a number on them, caused them to be shaken. And they've lost the combat by 2, so we take a break test. Well, damn. That says it all. They're gone. And that means, God dog it, that means those Romans can move right on in and deprive me of that other cart. God dog it. I really thought I had this one. Gee, Merry Christmas. All right, so the light cavalry is gone. The Romans will move forward. And so let's go up here and look at the, let's move this camera just a bit. That unit right there that's got the shaken and the disorder. Oh, shoot. Hold it. Sorry about that. I dropped the camera. I knocked the camera over. Okay. Sorry about that. And so we need to roll a break for them. They lost by 2. And I rolled a 4 again. Wow. So that unit's gone. The Iberians that are next door to them that were fighting the Roman cavalry, they became shaken. They've lost the combat by 3. So let's roll that dice and see what happens. I rolled a 7, which makes it a 4. Well, because they're shaken, they break as well. So there's a lot of breakage going on here. So, let's remove all the broken units, and then we'll tidy things up, and I'll be right back. Well, all right, there's some things going on here. So this victorious unit, small unit of Roman infantry in open order, blown through the light cavalry and have charged into this other unit of light infantry that was trying to hold on to the cart. All I needed to do was make it to the beginning of my command phase in turn 3, and I would have been able to destroy these 2 carts and at least have some semblance of a victory. But no, the Romans have won, and won handily, pushing through their units that they defeated, and now they're going to fight again this turn in their part of turn 3. And as we can see up over to the right here, let's move this up a little bit, the Roman cavalry, having burst through that Scutari unit, have made their victorious move into the Iberian generals unit of cavalry. So that fight will probably be my death nail if I don't do something really quick here. It's just turning out from going from bad to worse. So let's roll these 2 extra combats here for the Romans, and let's see what happens. Well, this part of the Roman turn 3 turned into an absolute freaking disaster for me. As you can tell, I lost the combat. These dice here are the break test roll for my Iberians. Being shaken, obviously, you know that they're broken. And then the worst part of it is over here. Again, the Roman cavalry won again. I only lost the combat by 1. Just by 1. And I roll a 3 for my break test. Holy crap. Holy crap. And that brings us to the end of the game, because there is no way, with what's going on right now and with what I got left on the table, that I can take those carts and hold them. Doggone it. I really thought I put together a pretty good plan and a mix of troops and stuff to really take this one from the Romans. But boy, when you roll poorly, I don't care what you do, when you roll poorly, whether you're playing solo or against another person or cooperative, you wind up getting it. So basically what it looks like then is I've lost this guy, one of my sub-commanders, this small unit. Okay. So that means, if nothing else, I take 1 card. And then over here with the general, so the general gets killed. I lose my cavalry. And so now what I have left are skirmishing javelin and some catrate left, and that's it, and a light cavalry unit. And none of them would be capable of standing up to that Roman cavalry unit, or this other cavalry unit that's just slugging it out with these javelin, which I think in turn, in time, they would run them off the table anyway. Wow. This would be a good time for all the rest of the Iberians to head for the hills and save their lives, because there is just no way of overcoming this. Man, that first order phase with them Romans going that far, that on that first turn, man, that really blew it. That really didn't. That just threw everything off. So yeah, I really thought this would be a longer battle report, but no. Took about 2.5 turns, and the Romans have held on to their baggage. And, well, actually 2 out of the 3, so the loss to them is going to be minimal in the next game. And hopefully I can salvage my dice rolling and maybe make a game of it next time, because this is getting old. This is like this is my 4th game in a row in which I've rolled totally horribly. Just awful. Totally. Every roll's just been bad. All right. That's enough of this whining and complaining about a solo war game, which, I might have to cheat myself. Who knows? All right. Everybody stay safe. Well, that's a joke. I don't ever do that. But that's a joke. Everybody stay safe. Stay well. And, wow. I'll see you next time.